Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday. It is the big thing. The Marvels. The reactions are in. The Rotten Tomatoes score is in. The online, comments seemed like it was going to go one way, but it landed a different way. So we'll talk about that and see if I think it's justified. I did my non-spoiler review and out of the theater reaction last night as well. Ghostbusters. There's a new trailer. Haven't watched it yet, but Mike and I are going to do an in studio on the show reaction to the trailer. So we'll talk about that. Kevin Feige talked about a lot of different things that were rumored about the Avengers. He talked about Star Wars. He talked about a few other things, but we'll get into his comments for sure. SAG I feel like this is every week that we have this conversation. I'm going to have the same conversation with Mike again. Is today the day that we get the information that it's going to be over? The strike is done? Or are we going into 2024? There's a couple more stories that we'll definitely get into. Those are the bigger ones to cover today. I would tell you this. I'd say, hey, guys, hit that button so we can get to 100. We did it, guys. We made it to 100,000. Thank you guys so much for getting us there. We're at 100, so I got to change that 1 to 2. That's the next goal. We're trying to get to 200,000. So if you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, hit that button and get us there. And some other things, we're going to be at Burbank Flatburst Comedy Club December 2nd. It's a Saturday. We hope that you can join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. The tickets are in the description. So make sure you can come by and check us out. We're going to have some fun, stand-up comedy. Okay, so for myself and Mike Kalinowski, let's get into it. It's the big thing. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the big thing. And my guest today, I should say my co-host, not my guest. My co-host, I'm long enough. My co-host today, usually every Wednesday, you might see him on December 2nd doing a 5-minute stand-up comedy set. If we get to 600 patrons, you got to go to patreon.com/thebigthingshow. Get us there by December 2nd, and you'll see this man doing stand-up for the first time. He is the next George Carlin, Mike Kalinowski.
The second? I don't think we agreed to the second. I don't know if I'd be in town for that.
You said you would.
No, I didn't.
You said you were.
That's why I'm not on the poster.
You said no. That's not why you're not on the poster.
Yes, it is.
You're on the poster because we don't have enough patrons yet.
Shut your mouth.
So
I like that George Carlin reference. I love Carlin.
He's the best. My favorite of all time.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my favorite of all time. So yeah, you and I were talking about it before we even.
What are we talking about?
You saw last night that the reactions came in.
I love to go online and see the reactions.
Because you know what's coming.
I know it's coming.
Yeah,
I know exactly what's coming on an MCU movie.
I got to call you. I want you to make your point, but I'm going to call you a hypocrite afterwards.
Please do.
Okay, because I can predict you. I know your reactionary for Aquaman. You haven't even seen it yet. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Okay, and I'll have points for that because I didn't have that reaction for Black Adam, Shazam 2, or Blue Beetle. I didn't like them. So people won't listen.
It's not just DC.
People won't like that.
I think you have a hard.
People won't like that
Aquaman.
for me. They like if I say anything bad about the Marvels when I see it, people are like, but you like the Flash, so your opinion
like the Flash.
sucks.
Yeah,
but I didn't like 3 of the other DC movies. So
stupid
it
rhetoric.
blows people's
I can't stand
crap
that.
out of the
well,
water.
you like this, so because someone said it to me
Yeah.
out of the theater reaction.
Well, you like that.
But they don't even accurately say the right thing.
No.
This one guy goes, "Well, coming from the guy that loved Quantumania," I'm like, no. What I said was I enjoyed Quantumania. I liked watching the majority. The end is a sloppy mess, but I liked the science fiction element. What I said in my out of the theater reaction was a lot of people are not gonna like this movie.
Yeah,
I said a lot of people,
but they don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that. They want to hear what they want to hear.
So yeah, I've come to the point now. I was going to tweet this out last night, but I'll say it here. I'm not going to tweet it because it's going to do a shitstorm.
Yeah.
AI
We'll
art,
clip it out.
AI art, donkey it out.
Yeah.
AI art, you can tell the minute you see it.
Yeah.
Acting AI, you're like, that's an AI thing. MCU reviews are now becoming AI. It spits it out. It is like, the plot's messy, the script's messy, the bad guy's forgettable, X-actor steals the show, post-credits, OMG, best ever, stay for it. Without a doubt, someone's review or reaction will have those 3 or 4 things in there in that order.
Sure.
Every damn time. Every time.
Well,
I would love people to go, holy shit, that villain sucks, but I enjoyed Kamala Khan.
That's what I said.
I would love to see that honesty.
That's what I just said.
But it's not. Because everyone wants their quote tweet. They want to be the one that gets put up on the review so they can take a picture next to it like, my name and I said this about it.
I did say.
I'm so glad I'm not in that thing.
What I will say is that I saw a lot of people like because the thing. I've said this many times, and I
Yes,
don't
you
think
have.
it's fair where it comes to. It's hard for people. People get scared to be honest about these things, and not because the dumb rhetoric is because they're not going to get their gifts and they're not going to get their screenings. It's not why. What it is that you look at something like this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is, and I said it from the beginning, the chemistry, and I said it looked like it in the trailer, and it delivered in the movie. The chemistry between the three actresses is phenomenal, and it's a bummer that they weren't able to promote it because of the strike, right? It's a bummer.
On the red carpet, those three together probably would have been gold.
On the talk show circuit, like, viral moments to really showcase all three of them. I mean, all three of them shine. Kamala Khan is fantastic. She carries over everything that she did in the story. They should have been in a better movie, a better written movie, right? And it's a great thing that they were able to also like the fact that they got a black director to do it, a black female director to do it, and to work with three women in this lead. Of course, it's an amazing thing. But what happens is if it's not a good movie and you say it, people go, "Oh well, why do you not like this one?" I saw that in my attitude reaction, and my answer is because it's not a good movie.
Yeah,
it has like I loved Ms. Marvel. I didn't mind the first Captain Marvel. I thought Rambo was fantastic in WandaVision, right? And I thought the storyline between Carol and Monica in this should have been explored more. It was just kind of like fell apart, and then they threw it's the writing. The villain was forgettable. It wasn't the actress's fault as much. It had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And so when you should be able to look at the movie, but there's a difference between being critiquing it and saying these are the things that were wrong and this movie's a mess. And if I watched Dan's Merle's review was fantastic, and he said this thing is a mess. Dan's the farthest thing you're ever going to see from a misogynist or a racist. He's probably one of the best humans I've ever met in my entire
salt
existence.
of the earth. He's a salt of the earth
He
kind of
really
guy.
is. And I admired his honesty. Greg Alba is another one who
Those two guys. So when I saw the Real Rejects, I looked at theirs. I've learned to go to certain people in our circle because we talk a lot. And when I see the review, and then I'll talk to that person in private, and they'll say, "Oh, this movie's terrible." I was like, "But your review didn't
say that.
Right. Why? Why are you not being honest?" Like where?
I think
like that. I think that to me is realized for me why I've stepped back from the discourse of. I don't even talk about DC films online after I see them because it will.
Well, because
it's just awful.
It is what I said recently, and I think this is unfortunately the case, is that and it proved it to be, especially after when I did this out of the theater last night. The movie fandom, has unfortunately become hand in hand, toe in toe with politics. It's the same. It's the same kind of discourse, unfortunately, and people always write it. So I always say it first. People go, "Well, movies have always been political." Absolutely, they have been, but the discourse around it hasn't always been like this. It hasn't always been like, if you're on that team, well, then you can't be on ours.
Yeah.
And I saw that a bunch of times. Like even in my review, I had said like when I not the out of the theater action, but the actual review, I said, look, I'm not gonna shit on people that love this movie. If you love this movie, you love this movie. What you don't have to go after people because they love it, and you don't have to call people racist or misogynist if they didn't, unless that's warranted. Now, if somebody is now on the video saying, "Well, see, they shouldn't have had a black woman direct this thing,"
and we know where those come from.
But that's what I mean. If someone is warranting this kind of bigotry and those types of things through comments they're making, then you should challenge that. But like when it's someone who just goes, "I didn't like it because this, and this," and you go, "Well, why didn't you like it?" Stop doing the gotcha shit. It's not worth it.
Let me ask you this: how do you deal with or handle this? Because I guess this is what bugs me in that discourse between this and that. If you like you'd okay, I don't want to talk about the moment, but you said there's a moment in this film where you like it makes X an other movie look like Goodfellas. How do you like? I have a problem with them. Like you like this movie, but you didn't like that movie. Like I have that to me is I can't find the.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to think of an example.
You're not doing it well though.
I know. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like if someone loved Quantumania, but didn't like The Flash.
Yeah.
I'm like, and take out the Ezra Miller of it.
Sure.
Take out the DC ending of it. Being done. If just on a movie versus on a movie. If you like one versus like.
How do you justify that?
In my head, I'm just like,
but that's
awful. But that's I could see what if you thought they both were awful, great.
I know it's also life situations because like you and I watch
100%.
movies differently, right? Because of things that have happened in our lives and the way that we have the way a particular moment might resonate with you,
Yeah.
it doesn't resonate with me, or a joke might land with you, it doesn't land with me, or vice versa. Because of things that we went through in different ways, it both lands with us, but in different ways.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say because, like, I said this about The Flash the other day. I stand by that movie. I like that movie, but I will not argue with anybody when they say, I watched the beginning of that movie. Like the stuff with the barista, that barista should be, that barista is the worst.
I wish
The worst.
I wish they would have started with him getting the call from Alfred and he has to run over there. Like that whole sequence.
That's it. That the jokey barista stuff, and then the problem with the and then the
I get
baby
it.
CGI. I get all
get
that.
it.
It was an emotional story that really worked for me. And what I've said to people inside of that movie that have seen it, I go, you didn't like the stuff that with his mom and all, and they all say, yeah, I did, but it took too long to get there, and you can't argue with that.
If you don't like the movie, I get it.
Yeah, because the ending's pretty bad too. The ending looks like a really bad video game. And so, but I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
But I don't succumb to this idea that because of you liked something if you like that movie and you said that movie's not good, well then your point's not valid. It's like, no, maybe to you, and that's fine because our tastes don't line up.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then you should watch somebody else, or you should go in, because I saw there was somebody that I actually have worked with or collaborated with in this space, and they very, very professionally and respectfully wrote inside the comment and said, I'm not with you on this one. I saw this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a blast. I thought it was, and gave reasons to why.
Yeah.
To that I go, fantastic. I mean, that's what movies should be.
Yeah.
Is that I'm not on the same board. There are people that would physically fight one another over the fact that if they thought this movie was like, it's like, again, sports fans. Like if you're at a Raiders game, or something, and a fight breaks out in the middle of the why? It's movies. What are you doing?
I don't know.
I can't believe it. Like I saw there was a lot of times, like there was tons. Like I was so funny because the out of the theater reaction did fairly well, and I knew it though. Like there was tons. Like there's like just a full. I have this thing where you can just delete all the spam that comes in. We have words, and it's what I love. I love when people write like these full like vitriol, hateful comments that are like 3 paragraphs.
And you just delete it?
I don't even read it, and it just gets deleted. And they've just spent all that time, and no one saw it. No one saw it. They spent so much time just doing this. It goes right to spam, and they think that they're
Why
doing
does it go to spam right away?
because of keywords. Like if there's hateful words or hateful things in
I
there
got
or
you.
anything in there that like if there's insulting or that, it goes right to spam, and then I just do a big block. Boop. I never read it. I never even read it. And people who think that I got them this time, no one saw what you wrote, and you just spent all this time for nothing, as opposed to someone who's going, hey, look, I don't agree with anything you just said because I'll tell you why. Jack, nothing to that, but I'll tell you why.
Oh, here, Jack.
Look at this, Jack. I love that stuff. It's like I always equate. I've said this a million times over. It's like, this is our store.
Yeah.
And if you come into our store,
Yeah.
and you like certain things about the store, you want to talk about the story, the certain things you don't think, you want to put something in the suggestion box, you're okay. You come out into our store with your dick hanging out, I'm gonna throw you out of the store. Well, I'm allowed to have my dick out. Not in my store. It's like the same thing when they talk about
No shirt, no shoes, no shirt, no dicks out.
Yeah.
No service.
Say that now like Michael Caine.
You're coming to the store and you got your no shirt on and you got your no shoes on.
And my dick out, sir.
But if you got your dick out, I've got to say, why you got your willy out there?
I'm sorry.
Because I saw your penis out.
I figured that I could do that. I'm not allowed to do that, sir?
No, sir. Because
But it's that free speech argument. People they go, well, so there goes free speech. You can say whatever you want. You're just not going to say it in my store.
Yeah.
You go do it on Twitter. I don't care. You just
Blow it out your ass.
You blow it out your ass. So and I knew that all this would come, but it goes back to your earlier question as far as like, why can't you just give an honest review?
Right.
And I think that the answer, I understand where people, they get nervous. There are a couple different reasons, right? If they feel that if they go all the way in, they'll get labeled, again, racist and misogynist.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If they go on the other side, that they're not supporting the cause, so they try to like tiptoe around it, right? I mean, look, I see why certain people maybe try to go down that route. I can't do that, but I see it. Then the other side of it is, if you really love it and you're like, oh, I think I'm not going to like this movie, and you go and you loved it, And you're like, oh, this is really it was better than I thought. You fucking shill. It's like such a sheep term now.
Yeah.
It is such a sheep term. Like people don't know what to do now, so they go, oh, like I saw that a couple times. We were like, coming from this guy, shilling the thing, boop, Gonski, and it's like. It's because that stuff. It's like Eminem at this point. It's like in 8 Mile. Have you seen 8 Mile?
No, it's been a very long time.
So he knew everything that the guy was going to say about him at the end.
His battle.
In this freestyle, it's like, okay, come on, I got you. All the trolls get it. I'm a shill, the Galaxy's Edge stuff, yada yada yada. Come on, hit me. What do you got?
Yeah,
it's you got to come up with something new.
Teflon Don, baby.
But it's just like it doesn't work if you're doing it like what's your point? Like, have a point. I would much rather someone's going to have an impact with me.
Yeah.
If they're going, like I said, like the guy that had the impact was the professional critic who wrote, "I don't agree with you, and I'll tell you why." I was like,
the Marvels.
Yeah. Okay. I remembered it. I remembered it because it was just professional conversations. Like, he made all his points. I was like, okay, good points. I don't agree with them, but I appreciate you doing that. Like that has more impact than the other stuff because it's just like you're gone. I never see you ever again. Yeah. So same thing what people do when they do like Twitter. I will say. I used to do the block years ago. I knew he was going to get rid of it at one point. Just mute. It's so easy. Just mute them, and then they think they're yelling at you, and they don't even realize they're just yelling at themselves. And it's like
I kind of just given up on Twitter.
I don't really ever.
I like it.
I don't even really look at it.
I don't go into the movie discourse.
Yeah, it's not. It's just not. It's just not. Mental health wise, it's not worth it. And I think that's some of the stuff people will say here too. They go, hey, I really, I wish that you would not address like troll stuff and too. And we don't really do that as much too. What we do is we want to talk about more so as I'm focusing on this conversation. To me, the focus to me is on those people who want to have a conversation because this movie hasn't even come out yet. This movie comes out, essentially comes out tomorrow night, right?
I think that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Thursday night. So it'll come out Thursday. That's when we're going to do our spoiler review. We're going to do all that. That's when I want to see what the conversation is, because that leads us into, let's get into the actual story, which is the Rotten Tomato score.
All righty.
All right, this comes from comicbookmovie.com. The Marvels, the Rotten Tomato score has been revealed, with the first wave of reviews not counted. A Rotten Tomato score for the Marvels has been generated, and to find out what it is, keep it reading. And here's Mike's buddy Josh Wilding. We've brought you the social media reactions and selection of reviews from the critics. We'll be chiming in with our verdict soon, but now it's time to reveal the Marvel's all-important Rotten Tomatoes score. As we write this, Captain Marvel, WandaVision, and Ms. Marvel follow-up has a rotten 54% on Tomatoes based on 69 reviews. And again, by the time this airs, it'll probably be more. Could it be higher score or lower score? Not a great start for the movie, as it appears Marvel Studios has its third rotten title, considering there's been more than 30 of them. That's hardly the end of the world. 30 movies, that is, and only 3 rotten. Still, it comes at a bad time for the studio, especially with so much talk of the superhero fatigue and claims that the MCU is on the decline. The score is bound to change considerably in the days ahead, though we currently can't say if it's going to go up or down. Hundreds of critics have yet to share their verdicts. It's still in the early days. For the time being, The Marvels ranks above Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which has 46, and The Eternals, which is 47, but it's beneath Love and Thunder at 63. 63 is too high for them.
How that movie...
That's too high. Fans are typically quick to say that a Rotten Tomato score doesn't matter when it's for a movie they like, while rooting for a blockbuster fail are fast to tout them like a trophy. Will that really matter in what regular moviegoers will figure out? Yada, yada, yada. So I want to keep up here, and I want to look at some of these social media reactions that Comic Book Movie highlighted.
Okay.
And here's what some of them...
Look at that first one in the headline there.
Where is it?
Go scroll to the black up in the top there, the headline. That's scrolling up.
I am trying.
There you go. It's up.
This one?
Yeah, look at that one. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Exactly what comic movie should be.
So they said the Marvels hailed as exactly what a comic book movie should be in the first social media reaction. Right, let's see what some of these, the ones that they pulled out. Eric Davis from Fandango, buddy of mine. Nia DaCosta, The Marvels is a great time at the movies, well-paced.
Now here we go.
Just wait. Hold on. It's well paced and full of frantic, hilarious energy. I liked it more than 2019's Captain Marvel. The thing moves, the location swap is a blast, and the end credits is. And I'm definitely a fan. Okay, I love Eric. I disagree with him.
See, you know this guy,
yeah,
and he's one of the ones that every time an MCU film comes out, I know what it's going to say.
Yeah,
I know what it's going to say. I don't have the time to go back and look through 10 years of MCU first reactions, but I'm sure someone online will do it and post
His stuff.
So you see that, like, how do you talk to him, knowing a friend of yours, and go, dude, what were you thinking? Because do we see the same
But
movie?
I wouldn't say it like that.
But you're the other guy.
But
I
I wouldn't say that.
What would you say?
What I'd say to him was like, I think what I would say to Eric is I think we're on different pages. I was like, different.
Because you're being respectful.
But he's a friend of mine.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
If it was my friend.
But to me, that's the point. There should be no difference to whether it's my friend or a stranger's opinion, because that's the problem.
I
is
think-
that the stranger's opinion people don't know,
Yeah.
and they see it, and if they don't agree with it, they attack him. And if he was your friend, you wouldn't do that in the same way that I wouldn't do it to Eric.
See-
I shouldn't do it to Eric if I didn't know him. It's the problem with society, dude.
I'm the exact opposite of you.
You'll go
if you're
right
my
after him.
If you're my friend, my good friend, we're gonna go at it outside the theater. But if you're a
Going
stranger
at- no, but
online,
wait,
if you're a
going
stranger
at
online,
it.
I go, let's have some discourse. Let's talk rationally. We don't know each other.
Right. You
Let's
bust
talk.
balls, but you'll bust balls as
In
but you would-
person?
no, to your friends. You bust balls.
Yeah,
You
I'll
would- but you
bust
would-
their nuts
but you
off.
would-
I'll
but-
take this hammer.
Oh my
I'll
God.
bust.
Say that again. Say what you
Give
just
me,
said.
give me
again.
the, give me the.
You're on this close up.
What's up?
Say what you just said again.
What did you give me? You'll bust balls.
You bust balls.
I'll bust their nuts off with this hammer.
You sure will.
Goddamn right, I will. Right out of the theater. I'll be in the middle of the Grove with Mike Vogel and Shannon McClung, the Geek Buddies,
Yeah.
and I'll bust their nuts off. You damn right I will. And they'll do the same to me. They'll do the same to me.
I do
and
not
that's
think
why,
that means what you think it means.
That's why we're friggin' great friends.
Hilarious.
That's why we're great friends.
Right, but you break chops, and that's the
break
whole-
chops. That's a new one. We break chops.
We break chops.
Bust chops.
Something stinks in Denver. I'll tell you
Something
that.
stinks.
Let's get. I want to read some more of these, but yeah,
Please do. Let's
so that's
see.
what I do. I would say that to Eric. I'd love to have that conversation with Eric.
I would love to be there to watch it since you do know it.
Herb Scribner. He says the Marvels review. Yes, so much. Yes, this film is so much fun and exactly what a comic book movie should be. It's funny, it's silly, it's short, it's sweet, it's action packed. Love the cosmic sci-fi moments. Plenty of MCU interconnectivity without being overbearing. Okay, yeah, I disagree with her. Next one, Clayton Davis. I know Clayton. The Marvels worked for me. Female Avengers team up, movie packs in chuckles, cats, hairballs, musical sequence, much more episodic than a cinematic endeavor, but I think it's its greatest strength. Great post credits. Loved my lady leading trio, which I agree with. Great visual effects. And then let's see, Grace Randolph. The Marvels is short and sweet, plenty of laughs and action. I went in hoping it wouldn't be too bad. Ended up with a smile on my face. So look, a lot of people like the movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so
Attractions magazine, we just saw the Marvel, one of the most surprising movies of the year, so they liked it. Kristen Maldonado, most fun I've had watching a superhero movie in a while. Charles PM, pleased but not exactly. You're surprised to report that it's solid and a big step up. Julian Singleton, I guess really liked it. So people short. Look, I don't see a lot of.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
So I
what's
read that
so-
all the sense like, well, this movie's gonna be a hit.
Yeah, but you know what's so crazy about that is that comic book movie, few other people have taken all these reactions.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of negatives ones, right?
No, I don't see any negative.
Yet 54%.
That's what I'm saying.
But why weren't they pulling those?
Because they don't want to put that narrative out there.
But why? But what does comic book movie have to? Their narrative is they don't have a narrative again like to try to build this
Certain
up.
authors on that site 100% do.
But they just reported on its 54%.
But it's also in the wording of that 54%. If it was another
DC movie.
it'd be disastrous 54% to kick off opening weekend, as opposed to, well, this isn't
Yeah.
that good, but time will tell. It's all it's media, it's journalism, it's all in the wording. That's
Well,
100% in the wording.
Andrew
of media.
Salazar, they have said that despite everyone on screen trying their best, the Marvels feels like it's lost its battle in the editing room. I went into the Marvels low expectations. It wasn't half bad. That's from Nate Richard. Eric Goldman says,
I like Eric Goldman.
You do or don't?
I do.
Yeah, Eric's great.
Every time his stuff pops up, it's one person that's I've always found to kind of be balanced.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like,
But again, all these things, so the reactions seem great. Good.
Right.
Let this movie be a success.
that's the other thing. If you're a
But
movie
look at-
fan, so this
You
is
don't want movies to bomb.
No, see, this is the
No
thing.
one
though.
does.
Now, I'll say this.
I don't. So
So I saw this movie.
Yeah.
I don't like this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the worst Marvel movies so far. But what you will not see me doing,
Yeah.
if it turns out that this movie makes 150, it won't. But if it makes 150, $200 million opening weekend, I'm not going to go, what the hell's wrong with you people? How did you see this movie?
Let me ask
I'm going to
you
say,
this.
good for the movie.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you this.
Sure.
So Captain Marvel made $1 billion.
Yeah, 1.1.
And I saw some discourse happening about this. And I say there's, in no world does this movie hit that close. And this is before the reviews, the critics, anything that came out. I was like, there's no way it hits this. Your thoughts now having seen it. Does it hit $1 billion?
Before seeing it, I would have told you no way.
Okay. And now I saw these people like, I can't stand this. Because I will say the reason Marvel's hit $1 billion was
Infinity War.
Infinity War was right after that.
But before it.
Before Endgame.
It was in between Infinity War and
Right.
Endgame. Yeah.
And it was the last one of these build-up saga.
Yeah.
Everyone and their mother was seeing this movie.
Sure.
But people said, no, you don't hit $1 billion with bad word of mouth, this and that. And I was like, Anna Bode and Ryan Fleck.
Yeah,
What have they done since
like the
then?
Gareth Edwards
And I
film.
looked up their IMDb. They haven't directed a single project,
Right.
and they don't have one in development.
Yeah, it was like the Gareth Edwards
If they were, and this film was $1 billion success in the terms of $1 billion movie, like a Dark
We'd
Knight,
be knocking down their door.
and we'd be knocking like
And they would have come back for the sequel.
to say that the movie made $1 billion, and it's not only because it was right for Endgame, but it is a massive.
Major.
Massive.
And I hate to tell you this, but it's also one of the reasons that your Aquaman did $1 billion
Well, no,
also.
Again,
It was in a superhero.
I
It was
love
in a
Aquaman.
golden age.
Right. Post Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
golden
love Aquaman. I cannot to this day tell you how in a million years
made $1 billion.
I mean,
Yeah.
that and the Joker. I can't tell you how either of those made $1 billion.
I know.
And I know I might say that Joker sequel might hit $1 billion.
Maybe.
The Joker,
Maybe.
Aquaman, not in a million years.
No.
Not in a million years.
It's a different, it's different tones.
Joker.
People like
You let Lady Gaga in there
but
for the same thing.
You said something about Echo off air that I want to bring up, and I think
We'll talk about
yeah,
that.
we will. But it relates to that point as well.
Yeah.
I think that people are over the really goofy stuff. I think people are over it. I think that
I
it's,
think it wanted to be there for a while. People were like, can superheroes
Yeah.
just be fun?
I
And
think there's
it
a
just-
reason why the Pattinson Batman did pretty good. I think there's a reason why we're almost in like the 70s, right before Star Wars. We're in that period, like the Chinatown era. And
Yeah,
those are the
yeah,
kinds
yeah,
of movies that we're
yeah.
hitting. I think that's where we are right now. I think people want a little bit more darker stuff to, and I know people go, no. People go, no, because that's the way the world is anyway. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think that people like those types of things really aren't popping that
I'm
much.
curious now because one of the reasons why I do really like The Flash is Batman, it was comic booky and it allowed the superheroes to be superheroes. So the Marvels is kind of leaning that, so maybe I will
You
really
might dig
enjoy
it.
this.
You might dig it. I mean,
because I'm kind of burnt out on the dark,
yeah,
gritty
so
stuff.
maybe-
I was like,
so
I
maybe-
like the
maybe you'll like it.
let Batman be a superhero.
It's true. Look, the major question is not even that. The question
Yeah.
is, are you shaving your balls? That's the big question. And if you are, let me tell you a little bit about both Manscaped, and then afterwards, you need a little more energy to get your pep in your step after you've shaved your nut bag. You got to go and try AG1. I'll tell you about both of them right now. I always get excited when I get a chance to talk about AG1. You guys know, if you've been listening to this show long enough, you know that I've been talking about them. I've been drinking them now for, it's got to be at least 2 years. I started drinking AG1. I think Brett Sheridan told me about it. I said, you can't mess around with this, man. You got to try it. And I did. And it's a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. I've heard so many different people now talking about it since we've been talking about it on this show and how much AG1 has helped them. I talk to you guys, a lot of you guys, when we talk to do my one-on-one sessions that I do with people that go, yeah, I started doing AG1 and I love it. It gives me the energy that I need. Parents, I found new parents love this stuff. But everybody loves it. And not only for me did I replace my multivitamin with AG1 because I was never the multivitamin guy. I would try it and I was like, everyone's telling me, you got to do multivitamins. You got to do multivitamins. And I can't do that many vitamins. One scoop. I put it in a water bottle. I put it in a zoo cup. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommended AG1 to everybody, my friends, my family, you guys, and it's worked out. It's great. I get energy. I get a pep in my step. I love AG1, and you guys know how long I've been talking about it. People still they'll tweet and they'll X whatever they X me, and they say, "Hey, AG1, you've been talking about it forever. I'm trying it today," and they never go back. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support that my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for a long time now. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. But you have to go to drinkag1.com/big thing. Drinkag1.com/big thing. Check it out. It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's a ball trimmer sent from space. Gentlemen, our friends over at Manscaped have been working day and night to bring you a below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with the brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's got the Lawnmower 5.0. This is a next-generation trimmer with interchangeable blade heads for whatever shave your mind can imagine. You got to upgrade your grooming game to the Ultrasphere this year by going to the manscaped.com for 20% and free shipping. Use that code BIGTHING. High tech, low prices. Manscaped. I love Manscaped. You guys know we've been talking about Manscaped forever. Forever. We've been talking about Manscaped. And why wouldn't we be? I use it all of the time. It's great. Look, everyone's talking about AI right now, but to me, I think this is the biggest technological advancement the world has seen in the past decade, hands down. Every guy knows how scary it can be when you're going in for a close shave. You go down there and you're like, oh, here you go. Am I going to be one of those stories on the news? But I don't ever worry about that anymore with Manscaped. You can do whatever you want. Do in the bath. The Weed Whacker 2.0 also features skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in all the delicate holes. I love the nose trim ones. I'm never gonna look like my grandpa with the nose hairs coming out of the thing. I don't have to ever worry about that ever again. Get 20% off and free shipping, but you got to use that code, man. Big thing. Manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with that code Big Thing at manscaped.com. I can promise you've never seen a ball trimmer look like a spaceship before. Get yours today from our folks over at Manscaped.
Can I ask you about Manscaped?
Yeah.
You use it, right?
Yeah.
I have a clipper, a beard clipper.
Yeah.
I used to have a beard.
I have one of those right there, the beard hedger.
But is this specifically designed?
Just for your balls?
Yes.
No, that one's for the beard.
But do they have one where I can put it on that area? Because
Yeah.
I get nicks
Dude.
using my beard clipper on my.
No. Dude, the one I just talked
Can I
about.
get a
in the
close
ad.
shave on it
Yes.
with the
They have
Mans?
it's a flashlight, man.
It's a flash.
They have like a light to where it's fantastic.
But are the zigzag
It does
the
not,
blades like
no
this?
cuts.
Like,
No cuts.
you're sure?
I've been using it for over 2.5 years. This is not even. This was not a planned.
This is not.
ad.
I'm asking man to man here.
Yeah,
I just
I'm-
was asking
use
about
the
his
code.
ball bag.
Use the code. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Man.
Anyway, thank you to our friends at Manscaped and AG1, both fantastic sponsors. So glad to have them. You help the show out tremendously. If you have the means to, and you want to check it, and Christmas is coming around right in the corner. Both great gifts. So go and check it out.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yes. All right. Let's move over. You know what? Let's talk about this. Echo came out last week, the trailer, rather.
Yeah.
And nobody was anticipating this show. Everybody thought this was just, it was almost like what Andor was, you know, like where even less.
Less.
Yeah, because remember when they announced Andor, I was like, who cares about Andor?
I don't think there was any. You were even like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not in a bad way, just like
No, just like, well, I don't care
But
about Andor,
it
right?
almost
And it's
there
one of my
was-
favorite shows.
It just seemed like everything was negative about Echo. And I thought she was a standout of Hawkeye. One of the reasons I really like that show.
But enough to get her own show.
no,
right.
not
That's,
at all.
that's what I mean. So when that and
when it was announced
and
before we'd even seen her yet.
the reason why I was so turned off by it, the fact that they were going to do a show, is I didn't mind Hawkeye. I thought it was fine. It was a Christmas show. It was fine. But I thought what they did to Kingpin was a disaster. I thought from the
Yeah,
comparison,
you said that,
from the
yeah.
comparison of what they did from him in the Netflix show over to what they did in Hawkeye, I was like, ugh. And some people agree with me, others don't agree at all. But that's the way I felt.
Right.
So when this series was announced, I'm like, I don't want to see Kingpin like that again. And then the trailer hits, and I'm like, this is like Netflix. I'm like, this is like the Netflix show. That's the Kingpin that I wished would have showed up in Hawkeye. Holy shit! And I was like, but it seems like the majority of people were really on board with the tone. Now, a trailer can look a lot better than the series. Look at Secret Invasion. Right?
I'm gonna say that with the trailer, and I've
You think the trailer's
no,
better
no,
than
no,
the
no,
series?
no. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Well, let me go back real quick. Have they established? And I hate when they do this.
Yeah.
Kingpin. Well, that's not the Netflix Kingpin. It's the multiverse, and that's the
They
Kingpin.
haven't said that
because Charlie Cox's Daredevil, even though he's a different suit, was the same guy.
Yeah.
He just was. So I didn't mind the Kingpin as much as you did, but I saw that. But we talked about trailers, and I saw people's reaction to Echo.
and everyone's saying this show's it's a disaster. But for me, the big weirdness was the putting it all together and dropping it at once, because what that avoids is the water cooler moments week to week.
I hate them. I hate when Stranger Things does it. I hate it.
They wanted to build. Marvel loves to build. Loki's working for everyone right now. It's like, I can't wait till next week.
Yeah.
If you have faith in your series, you spread that out.
Yeah.
Not just dump it all at once so it talks for a weekend and then it's done.
But
That's a weird thing.
You had an
But
interesting theory, yeah.
I'll say my theory. So there's what I've dubbed the 65 trailer reaction bullshit. I saw it with 65. I saw it with the creator, where film Twitter goes nuts. Oh my God. Jesus. Adam Driver, lasers, dinosaurs. And then it comes out and no one talks about it.
Right.
Because it wasn't good. Same thing with the creator.
I like the creator.
Hear that. But now, and I see with this, it's like people don't understand that trailers can be designed to look like, and a lot of times the trailers are made by people that didn't even work on the film.
Right.
But so Echo had an interesting theory with it. It doesn't seem like anyone's behind it. You know, people are not excited for it. They weren't. But then this trailer drops and the MCU's back.
Right.
Variety bullshit article.
Who cares?
This is it.
Right.
But what I'm thinking of, because this movie was made, the show was made, I have a feeling that and we saw people like, this hits the way it does, people are going to eat crow and you're going to owe a lot of people an apology.
Right.
But maybe they were making because Feige and them approved it. Do this. Maybe they were making, it seems in the vein of a Netflix show. The violence.
Sure.
Daredevil, Kingpin. But in that interim since then, Marvel's gone to She-Hulk, Moon Knight, the Marvels, this more superhero-y, fun, jokey, it seems like lighter tone. Whereas maybe Marvel's like, well, that's Echo. That's not what we're doing anymore. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of it over there.
Right.
But maybe that's what everyone wanted. So
maybe
I feel it's like that's what people wanted with the Netflix. When we
so
heard these
basically
characters
they
were coming
looked and
in.
they went, we might have miscalculated, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I mean, possible. Yeah.
The ship has been going this way, and
I know.
so let's just.
But you're
we'll
not.
dump
But
it at
you said
once.
you're not in.
It's
You're
in
not into
January.
the darker things, though, right?
No, I'm like the Netflix Daredevil still to me is the gold standard.
Yeah. So,
it's
like,
the
but
fucking
that's
gold standard.
The
of
reason
TV.
why I think there is some merit
Superhero.
to that theory, though, is because I think that what they probably did was they looked at that and they said, what I'm hoping is, this show's pretty good. Like it's we got to do TVMA, but it's pretty good. And then Feige said, well, what's going on with Daredevil right now? They're like,
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if it's in the same universe or if it's all connected and it looks more like Hawkeye, then it does this.
Yeah.
It goes into your theory of they're like, well, let's just dump the other ones, put it out, and then that way we can do our show with Daredevil the way that we had it.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, what if we don't do that? What if we still release this in January the way we say we will, but instead of releasing Daredevil the way we thought we were going to do,
the jokier,
let's
funny,
let's rewrite it
and
more
go-
like Echo.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what happened, to where instead of this Echo is going to be this bad show, it was just they thought that the tone was off, but it turned out that that's the tone people wanted, as you were saying.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, let's just rewrite Daredevil, because if they do 18 episodes of Daredevil in the Netflix style, that's a lot, by the way. I think it's too much, but if they're able to do
I
it,
think the ship was going away, and now they're in that course correction with their stepping back and going, ooh, I don't think people would have liked this Daredevil and Kingpin, what we were doing with them. So maybe that Echo thing is, it's recently come out that Blade is going to be R, and people, I saw that people were like, oh, did you have the faith? Like, no, they said from the beginning that it was going to be PG-13. You could do it PG-13. That R rating Blade thing is a new thing.
yeah, they're taking a
that they've decided to go.
they're
Yeah, we
taking
got to go
risks,
that.
and they're going to also play off of Deadpool. You know, because Deadpool is going to be rated R for sure. They're going to do this TVMA. They're doing this thing that they're making. They're upping their audience a little bit. And I think that one of the things that people said, and this is the point I was talking to Winston, and we'll talk about it more on Friday, that when it comes to the Marvels, that people are like, well, yeah, don't you think it makes sense that they were going after the same audience they went after for Barbie, is what in the marketing. And I said, well, here's the issue with that. I said, because they clearly were.
Yeah.
The issue is that Barbie is an IP that they are going off of when it was created back in the 50s or whatever it was, that was created for women in general, right? Granted, Greta Gerwig flipped it on its head of what Barbie was supposed to be, but it was geared towards women, daughters, and men could go and laugh about it and stuff too, but it was geared towards women based off of IP that was built for women, right? The Marvels is 30 some odd movies into an established brand that was meant for everyone, right? So like you've built your audience already. So you're going essentially for a new audience. You're trying to get women in there, but the women like that don't know it and aren't paying attention to it go, oh, that's just another comic book movie. What's it mean to me? Right? It's almost like that Bill Burr WNBA joke. Do you ever see that?
Which was about
He essentially says that
make more money and all that stuff.
But it's like, why isn't this sport doing well? Because women aren't going to see it. Like, well, why aren't men supporting it? Because it's for women.
Yeah.
And women aren't going to support it. Women went to support Barbie. The question is, will they? We don't know yet. They very well could support the Marvels, but the idea of it that they're just going after that audience, it's a trickier thing because they already have a built-in audience that they've established over the course of 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
So it's a risky course correction or I shouldn't say course correction. It's a risky for this marketing for this particular movie. I see why they tried to do it, but I can also see why it might not work out for them if that was the case. But it's hard because the flip side to that is with a better script. And with a better, and it's easier for me to say because I've seen the film, obviously.
Yeah.
But with a better script and more flushed out, and I will say this about Nia DaCosta as well too, where it has to be said to be fair to her. She said it in interviews. She was basically told, "Okay, listen, we need you to put this movie this time. Oh wait, you know what? Now you're gonna put it here. And yeah, we got to move it again." Because Quantumania's got to move, and so we're gonna push you a little bit more now. And she said, "Well, when am I gonna?" Because everyone gave her crap for leaving the movie. Yeah. But I loved how she explained it. She was like, "Yeah, they kept telling me, they kept pushing it." I was like, "What am I supposed to do? I had obligations." Yeah. And it's like I said, as long as it doesn't move again, and then it moved again. So that's not her fault. No. And it's also, it seems like there's a lot of behind the stuff Marvel stuff that's been going on behind the scenes that's been really tricky that they got to get a hold on, because I'm not blaming Nia DaCosta for this one. I'm really not. I think that she wrote it too, but who knows the pressure and the stuff that she was under to do it.
When I see like stuff like this, especially the director like her, when people are saying they're hitting the chemistry with the actors, that to me is what a director brings. Yeah. And again, some directors are more about visuals. Some directors are more about the actor.
They seem like they had fun making the movie. So I'll say that.
I think what I love to hear in about Ms. Marvel is the fact that she's a stand-up, but someone had said it best. Maybe it was Jeremy Johns in his review. He's like, she was a fangirl that got, like so many times, and I roll my eyes every time I'm in a Comic-Con panel where I'm like, this actor or actress like, I've been a fan of Marvel Comics for years, and I got to finally play the role, and it's just a dream come true, and you don't buy it
for a second,
at all.
Right.
With her,
oh yeah,
you 100% buy. And I guess she's a young kid too, so it's just like
she loved it.
You 100% get
her enthusiasm transfers over to the screen,
and it's a matter of the character works because of who she is. Yeah, it's just awesome because
she's phenomenal,
and that's why she's
just phenomenal. She's so
likable.
True.
It's just truth.
Yeah, it is a bummer that the three of them together didn't have a chance to be in a better film. Yeah. But anyway, that's the majority of stuff inside of that story, and there's more stuff to come. And what do you guys think as far as like this tone? Do you think that the tone is going to shift? Is it going to be? Are they going to try to take it more into the Echo tone that we saw, into Daredevil, into Deadpool, into all these movies? Like, because Loki has I like Loki's tone a lot, man. I really like Loki's tone. Loki has a good tone where it's like episode 2 is the only one. Did you watch it yet or not?
I haven't watched it yet.
I love
it. Let me ask you this.
I love that show.
I've always been of the mind, and I guess I shouldn't say. I said this maybe a year ago. I don't think, or I didn't think at the time, Marvel will ever make a bad movie. But I don't remember the last time I said that. Maybe it's a couple years ago, maybe pre-pandemic. Has Marvel made a bad movie at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at Love and Thunder and I think that's a bad
Love and Thunder is a bad movie. This is not a good movie. This movie's just really messy. It doesn't know what the tone is. There's a good. The thing is, if I go back and rewatch it, because people are like, oh, you were definitely a lot more harsher in this than you were in Love and Thunder, and I'll go back and watch it and say, yeah, I had to really think it over a little bit more with Love and Thunder the next day, and then I tried to watch it again. But I think that movie's terrible. I think that movie is terrible.
But on paper, I see a great movie.
Love and Thunder?
Not on the paper of the script. I go Christian Bale. Yeah, Jane Foster with
right, when you put,
that.
Right.
But I was like looking at all that. I was like, holy crap!
I think the difference between the Marvels and that movie is you can see the good movie in the Marvels. You really can. You
Okay.
can, I can find like there's tone, like the whole tone of Love and Thunder is a Saturday Night Live sketch. It's like nobody's real. It's a goofy, ridiculous movie. At the end, I guess, the stuff with Natalie Portman, they find some kind of emotional stuff. Maybe that's where the movie could have been.
Yeah.
But there's pockets of this movie. They're like, oh, well, that where's that movie? Continue there, and then they go off and do this cockamamie nonsense. Cockamamie. It's like you right away you go, something stinks in Denver. But when you look at like they have there's the stuff that works again, as I mentioned with Brie Larson or with Carol and Monica that works well. The stuff going on with Miss Marvel's family, like that stuff all works. It all works, and then they start like throw bits in there. And I tell you, this is the one bit.
I can't wait now.
I'm so excited to see what you say, because I was with Frank Janish and I went like this. Is this real? Is this really happening? And he couldn't believe it. He's like, and Roxy was at the screening too, and she looked at me. She goes, "I thought of you immediately when that started."
Did she like it?
She did not.
Okay.
She said,
I thought it would have been more up her alley.
She liked it better than me, but she said, I don't want to speak for her. I don't know.
No, it's okay. I'll
Actually,
ask her.
You know what? I don't want to speak for her because I don't know, she's not talking about stuff right now, which I guess we'll get into the SAG stuff. So yeah, I don't want to give Roxy's thoughts on the movie.
Okay.
But we'll get into the SAG conversation in a second here too, because there's so much to discuss about what's going down. We'll get into that in just a moment. And before I do want to tell you about two more of our sponsors, both KAJABI, which if you're a creator will help you out tremendously, as well as Rocket Money, which will also help with your finances. So here's both KAJABI and Rocket Money. For creators out there, a lot of different creators out there. And I want to tell you guys about KAJABI. I want to tell you about them right now. I'm excited to tell you about them because if you didn't know, I think, look, I've been doing this creator thing for a long time. And what everybody strives to do is you want to be able to make enough to earn a living doing what you love. So KAJABI makes it easy, actually, to diversify your revenue. You can build your own brand. You can turn your audience into customers. Now, with the disruption of revenue streams from algorithm updates and product changes, if you're a creator and you don't use KAJABI to diversify your income beyond ad revenue and brand deals, you're leaving money on the table. And this is very true. Look, I told you, I'm planning on making a move. This is like this is my family, man. I'm everything. So this is something great. Earning a living directly from your audience is one of the most sustainable ways for creators to build a business. And you don't need a huge following to do it on KAJABI. You just don't. Creators and entrepreneurs value full ownership and control over their brand. With KAJABI, you have 100% autonomy with free customizable templates that you can make on your own, even if you're not tech savvy, and you keep what you earn. You don't have a huge audience, doesn't matter. You don't need it to make a sustainable income. There are thousands of creators on KAJABI making 6 and 7 figures with less than 50,000 followers. Try KAJABI and join the creators and entrepreneurs who have earned over $6 billion. Right now, KAJABI is offering a 30-day free trial to start your own business if you go to kajabi.com/bigthing. KAJABI.com/bigthing. Go to kajabi.com/bigthing and earn more doing what you love. I keep telling you guys about Rocket Money. I love Rocket Money. And if you're not familiar with what it is, I started using them a long time ago. They were under a different name at the time, but now they're Rocket Money. And basically what it is everybody signs up to those things like, hey, try this for 30 days, and then it's free, and then you'll be paying for the rest of your life and not even realize that you're paying for it. And that happens to us. We get subscriptions, we forget about them, and then you pay twice sometimes. You don't even realize it. Rocket Money, for me, it canceled subscriptions for me. It said, hey, listen, these are all the things that you signed up for, dopey. It didn't call me dopey. I call myself dopey. But they said, hey, listen, you signed up for this, and you shouldn't if you don't want to, so let us cancel for you. And that's exactly what they did. And it lets me know about subscription prices of all the streaming stuff, and now with all the strikes, as they're coming to an end and there's new deals that are being made, the streaming prices are going up. And they say, hey, there's an increase to all these things. Be wary of it. It tells you how much you're spending per month. It tells you all these different things. It tells you your credit score. It tells you everything. And it's been so helpful to me. It's a personal finance app. It helps, it finds, it cancels unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills in one place. It has over 5 million users, and it keeps going up. Rocket Money has helped save its customers an average of $720 a year and $1 billion in total savings so far. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Manage your money the easy way. Go to rocketmoney.com/thing. rocketmoney.com/thing. One more time. rocketmoney.com/thing. All right. Thank you to our friends over at KAJABI and Rocket Money. Using both of them, they're super, super helpful. I can tell you how much time and money both KAJABI and Rocket Money have helped me with. So check it out. If you can help the show, if you have the means to do it, please consider one of our wonderful sponsors. I always pin the sponsors in the comments, and I always put them in the description. Mike.
Yes.
What the hell is going on with this strike, man?
Dude, someone can pull it up because I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because we were betting when it could be over, and I said it wasn't. I knew it wasn't.
Yeah, no. I look. I'm not going to say like the other. Well, hold on. The thing that we talked about, like you still. Well, we can argue about it, and I don't want to argue about it now. You backed out, and you were a deadbeat when it came to your bet in Vegas. I mean, your steak dinner.
Bullshit.
No, you're a deadbeat.
Shut your mouth.
You're a deadbeat.
No,
You're deadbeat.
fucking
But
wrong.
you're deadbeat. But
Mule that
deadbeat.
bullshit.
But I'm not going to call anything except I've been dead wrong about everything with this strike. Dead wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's even yesterday I was talking to somebody like, yeah, the studio said here's our final offer, nothing else.
Last best final offer. If they don't take it, we're done.
we're
If you're done, what are you gonna do?
And then
what are you gonna do?
SAG goes, well, we don't like that final offer yet. Here's our thing, and they go, okay, but maybe it wasn't our final offer yet.
we'll rework the wording.
Oh.
No, it's like
Just say this.
what I love is
we're confident in the deal that we've just presented. Just say that.
I think
we're confident in this deal.
What I love at this point, SAG has finally gone, and they're not going to take. If it's not exactly what they want, they're not going to take it.
We're past that.
We've passed the point of like, well, we're going to have to give this, but we're going to get this. I think SAG is like, nope, we are 100%.
They got him
right
by the
this.
balls.
Yeah.
They got him by the balls. They know they got him by the balls.
And I think it might have been this past weekend, and I think it was the weekend before. We had done the show right before. It's like 2 weeks from today. We did the show, and Friday, it seemed like, oh, they got a deal.
Yeah.
And the people like, the champagne bottles are popping. My sources tell me. I was like, unless it comes from SAG, don't listen to
anything.
anyone.
Right.
Because come Monday morning, I was out at Warner Brothers on the line, and it's like, oh yeah, nope, it's not going to go through. And now we're in that point. And again,
I'm going to check right now because I have a funny feeling.
SAG put out a thing to us, an email, and saying, hey, we did 10 hours of work.
Yeah.
We still got some concerns. They're very, like, we have some concerns. And they go back, and it's this little. I think
Nothing.
we're into the minutia of it now.
Yeah, it looks like
We're
it.
into
It looks like this is the. I mean,
I think, and again, I don't know exactly because they don't.
Yeah.
Until they sell it, they don't send it to us or anything.
Right.
But I think the residuals thing is covered. I think it's the AI thing that is this sticking point. But
isn't that what the email said? The email said that they kind of came to terms with what the AI was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of came to agreement.
And what I can't stand, because I see a lot of this on Twitter, I'm trying not to get into it, is people's like, yeah, and one person just pissed me off. They're like, oh, it's pretty people wanting more money, but not to mention the people that aren't working right now. Let me tell you something about this AI thing. If they do AI, we're never going to need hair, makeup, wardrobe anymore. You get, let's say, one background actor. They scan him.
Yeah.
D's done for 1,000 movies. Every time that actor shows up without AI, they've got to costume him, wardrobe him, makeup him.
Right.
That's a job.
Change his clothes and everything.
Job for thousands of people.
Right.
You AI him. So this is what we're fighting for. And the makeup and hair people will back the actors, just like if they were to go on strike, the actors would back them. Like the actors backed. We went for the writers before we were even up for negotiation because we know it affects all of us.
Right.
It's not just actors wanting more money. It's this AI thing is the huge thing.
Yeah, it was one of the
Huge
biggest
thing.
I mean, I'm going to stop saying it because you know what? I'm not going to stop saying it. What I will say is, do not take anything I say in the next 5 minutes seriously because I'm probably wrong. But I feel that like the deal will come. The end of it will come this week. This week.
I thought you shut your mouth.
No, the reason because if it doesn't,
it's close.
Because if it doesn't,
Yeah.
then we're going into 2024 because Thanksgiving is right on the corner. They're going to have to start pushing.
And
stuff.
I'm going to say this because I know the studios are going to want to get it done by then.
Yeah.
I think the actors are in a position with the
got 'em by the
negotiating
nuts.
that are like, you're still not coming to us on this one right here in this point A of paragraph 7
Right.
of like, we'll see you in 2024. Got to go. See you when we see you.
You think they're gonna push? You think it's 2024?
It's tough because the past 2 weeks has been this roller coaster.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of the negotiating. Like I'm so proud of the union. They're not backing down because this is and again, we'll be there in 3 years when this contract is
gonna
up.
happen again,
But
yeah.
but it is I have remembrance of the 2007 negotiation where we went into it and it was new media. And the studios, their big signal was like, we don't know how to quantify this like we do Blu-ray and DVD. We don't know how to judge this.
Right.
It's new media. And new media anymore. You can
Right.
tell who watches what for how long and what demographic.
Right.
So all of that's there. So I just feel we're in that point. It's like, that's AI. It's new. We don't know what's
Right.
going to happen with it. And then 10 years from now, we're stuck. You know,
that's-
it's just
and
like, I
what,
think.
what they need to
Yeah.
figure out though is because you just mentioned in 3 years from now they can't do this again. There's got to be like both sides have to know. Okay, in 3 years because it's so new, that's why we ran into the standstill that we did. But I think in 3 years from now they got to have an idea of exactly what they're willing to give and what they want.
Tyler Perry said something that I do not agree with. He was basically saying, like, we can't get everything we want. I didn't build my business getting everything I want right away. I got a little bit, and then I continued. I got a little bit more. I was like, I don't view that because it's going to be like residuals where for 10 years now we've lost out on this.
Yeah.
I think you have to strike now so that in the future, 3 years from now, we're like, all right, AI, we really didn't, it wasn't the save all that we thought it was going to be. Let's kind of pull back on this, the studio would say. And as actually go, yeah, you guys really didn't use it. All right. I think, yeah.
I agree with it
Yeah.
in theory, meaning that in negotiations.
Yeah.
So I said the other day, in negotiations, anytime you go negotiations, no matter what it is, you go, well, this is what we want.
Yeah.
Like if you and I were going into a meeting where we were selling something and we really wanted something that we co-owned together, we wrote something together, whatever it might have been, right? And we go, okay, they want to buy this from us, they want to take this from us. What do we want?
Yeah.
What are we willing to settle for?
Yeah.
There, no matter what, there is a settle point because even if you're like, well, we want this, you've got to always have but we'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
And so that's ultimately
Shoot for the
what
moon.
but that's what I think Tyler Perry means also. Like you're never going to, but you're not always going to get the top point. So, and the same point, if you've got, well, this is what we'll settle for.
Yeah.
But if they come here, then you go, no.
Yeah.
You got to at least get here.
Yeah.
I think that's where
It's negotiating. Common ground.
It's negotiating, but I think that's ultimately what he means.
I
but
see.
I think
okay, then I'm wrong.
but I don't know. But the counter to that is but maybe you're right, Tyler. We're not getting everything we want, and that's why we're willing to go here. But they won't meet us here.
Yeah.
Yet. We ain't going there.
I see his point, and there are parts of me that are like, but it's the two sticking points, and I use this as an example of two shows. I filmed 2 shows in 2021. One was a network, and one was a streaming. The amount of money I've made, and both were the same day rate. I made my same day rate. You know, one a little more because I was a couple weeks on it. But when I get my residuals, one is
right,
and it's the same work. So I'm just like, why am I not getting
right? It's that's what you just said though. It's because they haven't figured it all the way out now. And that's the beauty of what the negotiating committee is doing. They're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You haven't figured it out because it's so new, but we need to figure it out. So let's figure it out.
But they figured it.
That's what they're saying. So let's figure it out. So they're figuring it out together. And hopefully, I'm hoping that by today or tomorrow, we get some kind of news. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Because like I said, I have been wrong every single time.
I will say I'm kind of with you on this one just because the timeline
So
and the events are happening what the writers happened. Like I remember when they came to the writers with their last best final, they said the same thing. And I think within a week they had the deal.
Yeah.
So
you think it's going to happen this week?
I would say maybe Sunday night.
Okay.
We're going to have that final, the I's are dotted, T's are crossed.
Yeah,
come
whatever.
Sunday night.
Okay.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if
It goes into 2024 if they hit a snag.
Yeah.
No more snags. Come on, no more
Yeah.
snags. For a lot of different reasons. Also because on the selfish side, when it comes to just as a movie fan outside of everything too, the summer season is now going. The summer season's in trouble already right now because May is you're looking at it and so many things are going to be pushed to May. I don't think the summer season's really going to start until like late June.
Did they push Dune already?
Yeah, Dune's supposed to come out to March now because June was done. June's done. It's finished.
Dune's done?
Dune 2 is done.
I know.
It's done.
It's supposed to come out in the Christmas.
It's supposed to come out. No, it's supposed to come out like at the end of October.
What?
Yeah.
Already?
It was supposed to be out already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have come out. I think either the same week or the second or the second week of Five Nights at Freddy, and I think Five Nights at Freddy was like, woohoo! Thank God Dune didn't come out. So anyway, before we say goodbye, Mike and I are going to react to the newest Ghostbusters trailer. We got a Ghostbusters trailer that came out, and I want to play this because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna preface this. I haven't seen Afterlife.
Okay.
I loved the first one. I was a kid at the time. Second one, I loved it, but I don't have that affinity for the Ghostbusters that a lot of people do.
I didn't know what to.
So.
The only reason I was excited about Afterlife was because it was Jason Reitman, of course, taking up the mantle from his father.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the third one. I enjoyed it a lot.
Wait, which one we talking about?
The third one. It was it's in because the first one, the only ones that are in canon are 1, 2, and then Afterlife.
So 2016 is not.
No, that's a completely different. It's like a multiverse, if you will.
I remember I was really excited for that one until I started hearing it's like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, but they're not their characters.
They're different characters.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this.
They sold it in the trailers as that you thought it was part of the same canon. They should have made it part of the same canon.
They didn't just go, you know what? The Ghostbusters decided to franchise, and this is a different franchise in a different city.
It's a different thing. And they brought in and they helped them out a little bit to do some stuff too. But anyway, Afterlife, I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was I thought that the little girl in that was awesome. There's a moment that happens at the very end of it that I definitely got tears in my eyes. And then I watched it again with my daughter and my wife on Blu-ray, and they both really enjoyed it. So it's like it was a good family experience.
That's on Paul Rudd, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a good family experience. So this is the follow-up trailer. This is the second movie in the new franchise. So fourth overall. Here is the newest trailer for Ghostbusters. Nice little Cruel Summer. Dig it.
I'm telling you, it's going to be another hot one out there. In fact, there are heat alerts in effect for New Jersey, feeling like 100 degrees.
Anytime you can use Cruel Summer, you got me on board. Uh-oh. Slow it down. Oh, shit. Ghosts are coming out firing, Mike.
Why is that?
It's a ghost, mother F. Who are those old people? Glass this down. It's getting serious. Uh-oh. Ghost sharks. Ghost sharks. What is that? Oh, it's ice. It's frozen.
It's the Ice Age!
Frozen Empire. Oh. Look at that. Don't do over CGI, though. Don't do over CGI. Oh, no. Yes. Love that sound,
For the first time in New York history,
That's the girl.
people froze to death in the middle of July.
What is it?
The death chill.
Yes. Look at his back.
Power to kill.
Oh, yes,
Fight
yes.
for itself.
They show him. That's amazing.
Your veins turn to rivers of ice.
I didn't realize that they were back.
Your bones crack. And the last thing you see,
Patton
your
Oswalt?
own tear ducts freezing up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, literally scared to death?
So cool.
That's great. How cool is it for Finn Wolfhard, though, man? Like, Zool? Not Zool again. That's amazing. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it makes me want to go, I should watch the one before it.
Yeah, and it's again, family film, looks pretty good. When does it say it's coming? It's coming soon. It didn't really give a full
They ain't going to
release
give you
on
a
it
date
yet.
on it. I think they're like, well, we don't know.
Let's see. But yeah, I liked the trailer for it. I like the fact that you got the original cast back. But Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
Imagine, because you haven't seen Stranger Things, but Stranger Things, it's such an homage to like the 80s and the things that we love. And then they actually have reference to the Ghostbusters, and this kid's in that. He was in It. He's in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
What a fun career. And I don't even think he's 20 years old yet, or he's close to it. But like that's pretty, I like that trailer. I liked it a lot. And I like the switch up as we're talking about, these other kind of, it reminds me again of like when we were growing up, like the kinds of movies that it wasn't just reliant on superhero movies to be the big blockbuster movies. You have like these other movies that are kind of hitting and people are getting excited about. And I hope Ghostbusters delivers, because that was a decent trailer.
How did Afterlife do in the theater?
Pretty good. I think decent. Let me look at the. Let me look. Ghostbusters Afterlife worldwide did around $204 million.
Yeah, maybe not.
Well, let's see what the
Come on
Let's see
now.
what the budget was. on a $75 million budget.
Really?
Yeah.
$75 million budget.
You can
That's
make
pretty
movies,
impressive.
Mike, for $75 million.
You have to tell me that.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can make without spending.
So what? But is that was that a success? A success then?
It's $75 million.
Double
probably
that for-
double. I'd say marketing. So in its box office alone,
Yeah.
You get. But again, because of the strikes, you're not getting all the numbers and stuff too. But what people also don't look at a movie like
When did that release?
Wait, No Hard Feelings, right? Which is the
Oh,
Jennifer
yeah.
Lawrence movie.
Yeah.
That movie did terrible in the movie the
Yeah.
movies. It's crushing on streaming, like crushing on
Yeah.
streaming. So there's
Because it's
different-
probably good.
and it's all right.
Oh,
I watched it. It's all right. It's a good streaming movie. It's a good the movie starts out. I watched it with my wife the other day. It starts out and you're like, oh, this is gonna be bad because it looks like a comedy that's just not funny, and then it actually adds a little heart to it, and
Yeah.
then the kid who's in it is phenomenal, and it produces a little story, but like there's a streaming aspect now that adds a level to success that a $75 million movie that makes $250 million in the theater, if it does well in the streaming and it does well on home, buy, then it's a success. When it's a $300 million budget,
Yeah.
and you barely made $150 million, like indie, I don't care how well you do on, because the indie did pretty well on digital also, but like how does that balance out? Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know.
We had good conversations here today, Mike.
We can.
Oh, we
Every
can
now
every
and
once in a
then?
while?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, good. Why not?
When we're not busting nuts off.
Well, you're busting your own nut, I guess. All right, listen, this is getting too far. So thanks for joining me here today. Make sure you check out, Mike, where can people find you?
On the Twitter, I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, it's the discourse
You're
thing.
just waiting for this thing to end so you can get back to work. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So for me, you can find me all over the place, Twits and all that stuff. But again, thank you guys for joining us here today. And I got to make a new one.
gotta
Help
make
us
a
get
new
to
one then.
200,000. Hit that button. Help us get.
Did you have
to,
anything planned if you hit 100, or is that more of the?
We were going to do a
subscribers?
live. We were going to do a live stream because my calculations were incorrect, Michael. I thought we were going to hit it by like next week.
Yeah, so you're a little behind the eight ball.
I mean, it's a good thing to be. And so I was going to do a live stream, but I'll probably do a video thanking the fans instead.
Okay.
I'll probably do that. But yeah. So thanks for joining us. And once again, if you're able to and you're going to be there, get to Burbank. It is the Big Thing comedy show. Also on Patreon, a lot of different goals. Not only will Mike Kalinowski do a 5-minute stand-up set if we hit 600, we've got goals of Coy Jandro. Well, if we hit 700, I think Coy Jandro is going to be nice to people on Twitter for a month.
When did the discourse happen? The change between Coy and I with Twitter.
He just snapped.
He used to be Mr.
Positive.
Loved
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
positive, and I used to be. You said anything even remotely weird,
Yeah, you
I'm
were.
going at you.
Yeah, no, he's
And now I watch Coy, and I read it with zeal and zest watching him.
yeah, you watched him go to the dark side.
I was like, boy, I was there, pal.
No,
Not going to change anything.
But so that'll be with Coy. Winston will still be. It'll be next year, but we'll get him to Halloween Horror Nights if we get to 1,000. We've got.
Does he not like Halloween Horror Nights?
No, he's terrified.
Little big baby?
Yeah, but when it comes to that stuff, both. I think it's a 1,200. Brett and I will go front seat to a Corey Feldman concert.
I saw one of those. Someone had it like
The video
of
Yeah,
it.
It's terrible.
Oh
I know,
man,
I know.
it was like
So-
a small venue
Yeah,
too.
he bumped himself in the head with the microphone. And then at 10,000 patrons, when we get there, Brett is going to dress up as the Flirt and Flouse in character and skydive out of a plane. So join up today, patreon.com/thebigthingshow. Thanks for joining us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Appreciate you very much. For Mike Kalinowski, I'm me. You're you.